Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it is time for a shoulder day, and we started off with a seated overhead press. I did seated this week instead of standing like I did the last couple times. On the seated though, one of the things I want to note, I do notice that due to, again, my shoulder range of motion, I get less range of motion obviously near the top the closer I grip. And a lot of that has to do with just my shoulders. Like people don't seem to realize that I can't fully get my shoulders, to lock in that position. You guys have watched me dead hang. You've seen what happens, right? When I hang 100 plus pounds from a belt. So really though, I need to grip a little bit wider. I noticed that because I was checking the footage as I went. So I went a little wider on my next two sets. And I do feel like, because again, it's that closer grip position that really limits, where my shoulders will actually go. So I'm one of those people, like if I hold my arms straight out in front of me at shoulder width and try to raise them, I cannot put my hands over my head. Like to do it, I have to be out wider. So really to do that, to get a little bit better, I do need the slightly wider grip, so real close to pinkies on the rings, very close to my bench press grip. And that actually ends up getting a little bit more range of motion. So I think that's the way I need to go on that. So I ended up doing 5-5 and then 6 with 145. And I do like the seated. I mean, as much as I like the standing overhead press, don't get me wrong, it's a great exercise. But I feel like for me personally, at times the seated just feels like it does give me better, stronger carryover for what I'm trying to do for all my benching and stuff. We could argue about standing for athleticism, but I do tons of standing work. I do all those heavy, almost cheat rows now. I deadlift every week. I squat every week. And I'm moving a lot of weight on those things, guys. I mean, I'm doing 500 pounds every week on a box squat. I'm doing either rep work with 550 or singles with 585 on the deadlift. So I'm in a good spot there. I'm getting plenty of loading. So there is a point where I do look at this and go, sometimes I probably do get more out of the seated. And specifically towards things like my upper chest and incline carryover, because I'm trying to push the incline bench really hard. I've set goals with that. So here went with the upright row, my normal exercise. I increased the weight though. So I went up another 10 pounds, managed to get 8s. And again, I am noticing the loose skin's definitely still there, but I do feel like I want to keep the carbs a little lower, like right now. Waistline is tightening up. It's going to take a bit. So I want to be clear on that. I do know I'm going to continue to make progress there, but it's going to be a long process. The other thing is, though, even though I'm on really low carbohydrates, I'm still full now that I cut the carbs way back. And I mean, I get some from my ultra pasteurized milk, some from my peanut butter, but that's pretty much my carbs, guys. It's pretty much my carbs. So these went good though. I'm very, very happy with this because I managed to get 8 reps with this while being real strict, right? While being very, very strict. So happy with that. The upright rows were really good, and I felt a tremendous amount of just delt activation. They felt phenomenal. So I feel like I'm in a good groove with this exercise right now, and I do feel like it really is going to be my primary shoulder builder. I almost feel like the overhead pressing at this point, yes, it obviously hits the front delts and everything, but it's almost, in a way, an upper chest to front delt exercise that just carries over to my incline bench, but I want to have it on the shoulder day. But I almost feel like if I were to split this into less days, I could probably throw it into a chest and tricep day. So again, making sure though that I'm hitting all the angles. I do want to continue to do that. And I know a lot of people are like, why train the front delts? Well, because I need the big bench and I need these exercises to work the upper chest with it, right? So again, I want that carry over to my incline. So yeah, I even do front raises coming up after this. All right, so after the upright rows, I do my lateral raises. And these I'm not caring about being super strict. I'm trying to go reasonably heavy. I'm trying to increase tension. So I'm picking a weight I can get right around 8 reps with. But the trick is, we can argue about what parts of the delt we hit. But if you lean forward just a little bit, it ensures side delt. And that's where I feel it. So with all these movements, it's still a matter of, where your mind-muscle connection is, right? And so in this case, because I'm not trying to raise them crazy high, I'm not leaning back. It's very, very much side delt for me. side to rear delt, and it just has to do with the way that we do an exercise. But yeah, I'm not caring about being super strict anymore. I'm just trying to go reasonably heavy, and yeah, because right now I'm chasing more and more mechanical tension, keeping volumes kind of moderated. And realistically, you guys know it's about 12 sets per muscle group, with things like biceps getting more, because at this point my biceps do need more work. All right, the front raises, I'm actually always kind of happy with how I look when I do these. It's like, man, I'm starting to look pretty reasonably jacked here at this point, which I better be. I mean, I'm 214 pounds. And people don't always realize that with the body weight. No, I'm 214, guys. That's what I'm weighing right now. And, reasonably lean body fat. It's going to continue to go down. So we're going to continue to work on body composition. But yeah, front raises. I'm a fan. I do feel that they work the entire shoulder. They do work all three heads of the delt. It's just biased towards the front. But again, it gets that chest added in. And we're working a different angle. We are working a different angle. And I am a believer in these exercises. And people will argue about this. Oh, you don't need them. Yet all these bodybuilding champions did them, who had amazing shoulders and chests. Tons of top-level power lifters have done them. Louis Simmons even advocated them. Dave Tate, even out of Westside. So again, they do seem to improve bench pressing, and I found that in a lot of my clients. They can help with certain sticking points on the bench. Because again, shoulders, they're never a bad thing. Okay, they're never a bad thing. The only thing I'm probably not hitting much of at the moment is my rear delts, but I'm doing all that pulling, and then these other exercises hit them. So upright rows, laterals, everything the way that I do them hits the rear delts. It still counts as pretty much a direct rear delt exercise. Okay, and then I do all the rowing and pull-ups, So my rear delts are getting tons of work. They are getting work, and so they are coming along. Then, of course, I do my neck extensions. I'm not trying to push these hard. I'm just trying to keep my neck healthy and deal with that crick I get in my neck from sleeping on it wrong. It's been slowly improving. So, again, trying to get it sorted. It actually feels pretty good today after doing these. And I notice that a lot of times a day after I do these, it feels good. The problem is that my neck gets fatigued if I try to push these to limit sets. So I'm just kind of stopping them at 10s. And then I finished up with one set of band pull-aparts just to make sure we get some blood flow, to make sure we do hit the rear delts directly with something. But I didn't feel I needed a bunch of sets, because sometimes that just creates extra fatigue. And this, things like some of the rotator cuffs, just too much for me. But I wanted just one good set to get a good pump and blood flow in that area. But overall, pretty happy with today's workout. It went really well. Everything felt good. This one was fairly short compared to a lot of my workouts because shoulders just go quick. So I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.